All right, guys, Lightning Emotors just posted their Q1 earnings report, so I wanted to jump on and give you an update on that. I'm also going to go over the chart with you, break that down, and give you an idea of where I see the Lightning Emotors stock price headed from here. So let's jump right in. What's up, guys? Welcome back to This Just In. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Justin. I am your host. In today's video, we're going to talk about Lightning Emotors. For those of you guys that are new to the channel, this is definitely one of my favorite EV stocks to invest into. I've been buying it since clear back in the SPAC days, and I currently dollar cost average into it every single week, so I've got a lot of faith in it. I think it's going to do very, very well. If you want to see videos where I go much further in depth on the overall company, I will link those right here so you can check those out. Today, we are just going to focus on the earnings report. I want to give you an idea of what I think about it. I'm also going to break down the chart and go over the price action and where I see it headed from here. And I'll kind of give you my price target of where I see the Lightning Emotor stock price headed over the next year, year and a half. Before we get started, guys, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and want to see more videos like this. Day One Squad, thank you so much for always supporting me. I love you so much. You really have no idea. Guys, real quick before we jump in, these SPACs have gotten absolutely killed over the last year and a half. For those of you guys that watch this channel, you probably have invested in a lot of different SPACs. I actually think that most of them will not survive this brutal beatdown that they've all taken. However, I do think Lightning Emotors is one of the SPACs that will come out on the other side in a much more positive light. With that being said, let's jump in and take a look at the earnings. As you guys can see here, they posted a GAAP EPS of negative 14 cents, which was a beat by 10 cents. The stock has reacted really well since they posted this earnings report. It's up about 10% today. I don't think the market is quite closed yet, but it's doing really well. When it comes to revenue, they posted 5.41 million, which was up about 18% year over year. So the revenue growth was strong. The EPS was pretty strong, guys. If we take a look, though, the gross margin was quite a bit worse. We do know that they've got those supply constraints. I think they're navigating it pretty well. But when it comes to like the bottom end, their operating profit was worse. Their gross margin was worse, but their net income, they did like narrow those losses. They only lost about 11 million, where in Q1 2021, they lost almost 30 million. So something to keep in mind, but they are delivering more vehicles. They sold about 68 vehicles, which was more than double what they did in Q1 of 2021. And I think that they're going to continue that slow, steady growth of vehicles over the next year or so. Those supply constraints have been really tough, guys. If we look at their Q2 guidance, they're guiding to do about 6 to 8 million in actual revenue. So another really nice growth rate from the 5.4 to the 6 to 8 million. If they can hit that higher end around 8 million, I think the stock will act very, very well, moving forward. The actual vehicle sales, they're looking at about 55 to 75. So, it could be a little bit lower than what they did this quarter. However, I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to do, towards that upper end and at least do the 68 that they did this quarter. One thing that Lightning Emotors has always done a very good job of, guys, is keeping that order backlog and the sales pipeline, filled up. You can see 1.5 billion in the sales pipeline, 168 million in the backlog. So they've got the orders. They've just got to get through those supply constraints, and they have done that. They've done, different things, different partnerships, different, like GM just announced that they're going to start making those chassis. They're working on their own chassis. So I think that they're, going to see some difficult supply stuff going on for at least another year. But once those supply constraints kind of let up, that's when you're going to get that explosive growth that I think is really going to put Lightning Emotors in a really good spot to rebound from this whole, pandemic supply constraint stuff that's been going on. Guys, again, this is one of my favorite stocks. It's a high risk stock. It's a low cap. They only sell 55 vehicles a quarter. But overall, this is the one SPAC that I have confidence in because they've actually got vehicles out there. They're making big partnerships. You can see, guys, Winnebago. I love that stock. I literally currently own it. They've got that partnership with them. Plug Power, Proterra, GM, DHL, Ford. So they're doing what they need to be doing. You can see they've got over 280 vehicles on the road. They've got 1.6 million miles driven. And then when you take a look at the in-house manufacturing, 1,500 is their current annual production capacity, which they're not even close to that yet. But then they've got a 20,000 potential production capacity at their current site. That is a long ways off, guys. But if you can think 5, 10, 15 years down the road, you can be really patient and let them get there. Again, I think this is going to be a great investment. If we jump over and take a look at the chart, guys, the chart is actually starting to show signs that the bottom may be being put in, guys. You can see the stock has done nothing but sell off, right? It's been in the really, really drawn out downtrend since early January 2021, but you're starting to get those sell-offs that aren't as steep, aren't as long as the previous sell-off. With the last time we made a video on this stock, the last time we talked about it, it had the bullish butterfly. You started to get the reaction off that pattern completion zone, and we were talking about waiting for that first low, that confirmation low. Unfortunately, we broke that level, so we were looking for the same low or a slightly higher low, and I thought we were going to do it right here in in April. We're starting to get that consolidation. It started to hold, but sometimes this happens, guys, where you break that level, and then you kind of get that spring back test to spring. So we're starting to get back above that 423 area that we broke, which was that previous low. So as long as we can get back above that, I'm not really concerned about this kind of, you can call it a shakeout, right? Where you get that confirmation low, but then you get that spring where it breaks the level, jumps back above it. The last time we made a video about it, guys, we weren't, in the position we are now. We didn't have as clear, concise, mature bullish divergence on major timescales like we do right now. It was on the daily, but it wasn't as mature as it is right now. You can see we're starting to build that positive momentum. This is your first day of positive momentum. You've got triple MACD bullish divergence. You've got mature, deep mature bullish divergence on your RSI. You can see you broke the oversold. You rallied, got rejected at the bullish control zone, literally dead on it at 60, and then you dumped, and now you're rejecting that 30 level. So you're rejecting that bearish control zone, if you will, which normally is at 40, but you broke it. Now you're getting back above it, and you're currently sitting above neutral right now on the daily. Take a look here, guys. When you hit that 50% on your fib channel, you rallied, tested the top of the zone, but on the sell-off, look at where your sell-off is. On your last pronounced low, you rallied, hit the top, and then what happened after that? You dumped clear down to the 50, you rallied, hit the top, and now you're only hitting that 25% level. So I think that this could be that area where you start to see the sellers become exhausted and you see the stock start to pivot. However, it really could just hit right here, test the top again, dump again, but I think that we're starting to see those sell-offs get a much shorter, that shortening of thrust, and we could see it start to break that zone. If it breaks this trend line, guys, we could be in good shape. If you take a look at the 3-day, we've literally got clear, concise bullish divergence on all of our major timescales. Look at your RSI, guys. You're breaking that bearish control zone. You're back out of it now. You've got very mature bullish divergence. The weekly is what I really like, though, guys. Look at that bullish hammer on your second low, and now you're working on a bullish engulfing candle after the bullish hammer. So if that reversal candle is true, right? If this bullish hammer is going to play out, this bullish engulfing candle is the perfect candle that we want right after that hammer. You've also got, again, bullish divergence, and take a look here, guys. You started to create negative momentum on your weekly. It lasted 1 week, and you are currently flipping to positive, and you're starting to build your positive momentum again. So I actually think, guys, Lightning Emotors chart looks pretty good for limited downside and potential upside. If you can get back above that 584, I think you're headed to 556. If we jump back to the 3-day, guys, take a look here. Again, same thing, started to build negative momentum, didn't last, already started to get positive. And if we take our fibs here and we go from the top of the structure to the bottom of the structure, you can see here, guys, that 236 is right there at that 584. The 382 right there at 756, just under it, right at your B point there, which would typically be your first target on a structure like this. But your 786 is up there at that NAV price at that $10 level. And I think that's ultimately the end target, right? The target for me is that $10 level. And I think we could absolutely get there. It's just going to take some time. So what you want to look out for here, guys, is you want to look for it to break the downward fib channel. If it can do that and it can get back above 584, I think you are in absolute business. And I think it's set up to do very, very well. So let me know what you think down in the comments, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Let me know your price target on it as well. And come over and join us at the Patreon if you want to see our trade setups like this. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a licensed stockbroker. Always do your own research and due diligence. Don't just take my word for it. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.